What's up, Dragon Brood? So I'm still on my quest to build more decks for Ikoria, and you're getting to benefit from them because I'm just going to share them with you. To the public, out into the world, so everybody has it. I don't know. Seems kind of crazy to do, but why not, right? Because I need to come up with stuff anyway. Also, if you are not aware, there's going to be a streamer early access event on Wednesday, April 15th, and I'm going to be invited thanks to Wizards of the Coast. So if you want to catch me playing with some of these decks that I'm sharing, go over to twitch.tv/PowrDragn and check it out, sign up, and I'm going to try to play a large chunk of the day, so yeah, follow us over there. Anyway, today we're going to get into what I guess we'll call a Kaheera deck. I had to go ahead and try to build a deck with a companion because, you know, why not? Like, they're here, it'd be silly to not try to use one of the new mechanics and build the deck. One thing I will say, we're going to do like we do with several of the videos. We're going to put the deck list up in the beginning and talk about all the cards that are in it. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about some strategy with the deck to kind of save you a little bit of pain while you're trying to learn it. So definitely watch to the end to get those extra tips. And if you haven't liked the channel, or at least liked the video, please do so. And subscribe to the channel because that's going to help me out. And while you do that, I'll get everything set up and we'll get into the rest of the video. Alright, so our choice for the companion this time, like we said, is Kaheera. The interesting thing is, I went through and looked at all the like dinosaurs, elementals, beasts, and as it came out, like I really just wanted the elementals and cats if I wanted to try to play like a rush style deck. The problem though is most of the elementals didn't necessarily work cleanly with the cats, so that was a whole different problem. So we ended up with a bunch of cats and then some elementals to clean up, if that kind of makes sense. It's a little bit weird, but it seems to work out okay, so we'll see. And again, these are all first run decks that we're putting out here. There's a good chance we'll revisit these later and make changes, but for now, let's go down the list. So we're starting out with Charmed Stray. Now, the one thing too, for those of you who don't know, Kaheera, we do have 3 in the deck, but we also have 1 in the sideboard. And you, as it's a companion, you have to reveal that companion from your sideboard at the start of the game if you want to get the bonus. That also means everything in our deck has to be a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast. However, in this deck, I believe they're all cats and elementals, so not a huge deal. The other part of that is that all the creatures will get +1/+1 in vigilance as well. And that is a huge deal because your creatures being able to fight up or be worth 1 more, half mana to full mana better than they are is very huge. But anyway, let's get in here. So we have the Charmed Stray. It gets a bonus for each other Charmed Stray you have, which is kind of nice. It starts out as a 1/1. It's also lifelink, so it'll be a 2/2 lifelink creature. But for each one you play, if you have multiples in your opening hand, now all of a sudden you're getting 3/3s and 4/4s. And that's pretty huge. Kind of takes a card from being mediocre to being really playable. We're also playing Garrison Cats, which are 1/1s, and when they die, you get a 1/1 human. Doesn't really work so well with the bonuses whenever deck, but you are just getting to replace the creature, which is more than acceptable. Now, this one I kind of debated on. It's a 3/2 for 3, which is nice, and really that means it's a 4/3 because of Kaheera's bonus ability. I kind of wanted to find more ways that we could utilize the actual cycling effect from it, but unfortunately there really wasn't a good way. I looked through a bunch of cards, didn't see anything we particularly wanted, so I just settled on this being a 4/3 for 2. Like, why not? It's better. Like, I like playing aggressive decks. I love playing Gruul decks. If you gave me the option to play a 4/3 for 2 in those other decks, I would absolutely take it. So it's good enough here as far as I'm concerned. Ajani's Pridemate. This is just okay, but it is a 2 mana 3/3. And then if you look across the deck as we there's a few cards that actually have lifelink as well. And then that gives you the added bonus of just being even bigger. So not going to really be concerned with it being kind of just blah some of the time. The fact that the upside is so high makes it totally acceptable. Then we have another 2/2 for 2 in the Regal Leosaur. I don't know why I said Leonosaur. I guess I'm used to saying Leonin in Magic, but no, it's a Regal Leosaur. And the main reason this card is here is for 3 mana, you can mutate it onto something else, and then your other creatures get +2/+1. And that is just a good way to end the game here. I mean, you basically can play 2/2, 4/3, some other combination of 2/2s, or grow your 1/1s, and then on turn 4 or 5, just all your creatures are +2, and that might end the game potentially, so who knows. but it's a good way to clean up toward the later stages. Obviously, Kaheera, which we talked about. Then we're playing 2 copies of Lurrus. And the thing about Lurrus is interesting because Lurrus is also a companion. However, Lurrus is also a cat and a nightmare, coincidentally. It's a 3/2, which means you're going to get a 4/3 for 3 mana, but it's also lifelink, so that comes back to being able to help out the Pride Mate. But when you have Lurrus in play, you do get the ability to play any of your 2-cost things from your graveyard each turn, one of them. So this gives you a chance to kind of get creatures back after your board's been swept. It's another good sized fighter. I mean, it's just doing a lot of little things for this deck that are kind of nice. Then we're playing 2 Ajanis, mostly just be able to make other cats, because you'll be able to make a 3/3 instead of a 2/2. And again, it gets the benefit from the life gain. Or if you already have a few creatures out, then you go ahead and gain a bunch of life. It's got a few little things going for it. You'll probably rarely use the ultimate ability, but you're mostly going to be gaining life and making 3/3s. Cub Warden, kind of neat in the sense that it allows you to get extra tokens whenever you mutate it, and then it also has lifelink itself. And again, whenever you mutate it onto something else, that thing will gain the lifelink. And if you do just play it for 4 mana, it's a 4/6 lifelinking creature in this deck. That's pretty significant for 4 mana, and it's only 1 white, which is nice, in case your lands come up funny. Then we're playing Scamper Scorcher. Now, the Scampering Scorcher is it's a card that you didn't see too much except for in decks that tried to combo off with like something like the Little Chandra and really coming at you with like Cavalcade of Calamity, like that sort of thing. And here, though, it's a 4 mana, effectively a 6/6. Like, you get to make 3 1/1s that all have +1/+1, and they're going to have Vigilance. So it's doing quite a lot for 4 mana. So if your board gets swept, you play this, you're right back to 3 2/2s, and that's pretty significant. So nothing to really turn your nose up there at that. And then Tectonic Giant, oddly, when I was looking through cards, I discovered that this thing's an elemental. Like, okay, cool, it's an elemental giant. But this means you're getting a 4/5 creature for 4 mana, and you get the ability to play an additional card or deal 3 damage. So it's another way to kind of close the game and give you a big hitter after it's just been kind of like wading through your little creatures. You have something sizable to fight with. As for land, we didn't get too creative, sadly. We just went with full set of temples, full set of shock lands, and then played just kind of the requisite number of basics just to fill in the difference. Wanted to play 1 or 2 more mountains, but there's so many white creatures on the low end in this deck, you really have to you really want to hit an untapped white source on turn 1. Now sideboard, I just realized we have a sideboard error. I have to swap 2 cards. We cannot actually play these Dranas here if we want to take advantage of the Kaheera. So that is an error in deck building. I apologize for that. This is what we get when we're throwing new stuff out there. So Light of Hope we're going with, one, because it's a way to destroy enchantments, and we've seen several enchantments out of the Ikoria set so far that we're likely to run into. It can be a combat trick just for +1/+1. Say if your opponent's trying to sweep the board with damage, you can maybe save something, which is nice. And then it also has the ability to gain life. So if you do have a couple of Ajani's Pride Mates out, it's a way to get a couple extra points of damage. So it's a pretty versatile sideboard card in here. Devout Decrees, there's going to be a lot of multicolor cards, several of them black, several of them red. So you just get your pick of what to kill. Really good card. Scorching Dragonfire, again, fills in a lot of gaps. The Drannith match traits, they're going to have to go. So for now, take your pick, what you want to put in there. The extra Kaheera, we have to have on the sideboard so we can show it to our opponent at the start of the game and get the bonuses on all of our creatures. And then some unbreakable formations against board sweepers of any kind. So overall, the deck actually is pretty simple. But let's get into some little strategic things we can do here. First, I would say be aware that Kaheera is legendary. So if you're going to run creatures out, get the Kaheera out there first. It's going to be a 4/3. It does get the bonus from the other Kaheera, which is nice. The other thing too is don't forget your creatures have Vigilance. It's kind of a weird thing that they have Vigilance in addition to the +1/+1, but that's going to give you a huge leg up in creature fights. So just be aware of that. Like, you can really size up combats to your advantage knowing that you're not going to get hit on the crackback. It also means that you're going to be able to double block more often than not. And if you choose a double block, sometimes it's better to overblock. I mean, I see a lot of people get caught because they just block with 2 creatures. why not block with more? I mean, if your opponent has something to kill those two, then fine, so be it. And then maybe they get to kill something else. But more often than not, I'll just put like 3 creatures in front of the thing, like force my opponent to deal with it. So if they get to kill something, great. If they don't, great, the creature still dies. But don't just let them get the freebies in and just get the 2-for-1s or whatever, the easy way. The other thing too is plan out your turns, because you're gonna have a lot of situations with like Charm Stray and the Garrison Cat and a couple other things where when something dies or you playing another creature is gonna add a bonus, or even understanding where your Pridemate bonuses are gonna come from. Because like you have some you're gonna get from attacking and give you a lifelink bonus, but then you could also get lifelink bonus from blocking. So planning out your turns is going to be very strategic with this type of deck, because you're going to need to maximize your damage in the early stages, but you also don't want to overplay your hand and just have your cards get swept by like Ritual Ascent or something. So it's going to be a lot of strategic planning figuring that out as you play through the deck. You also probably don't want to waste your Leosaur and that +2/+1 bonus. You really want it to be a kill shot, because other than that, mutating it onto something else doesn't do much because it's only a 2/2. I mean, you could potentially turn like a Charm Stray into a 2/2 to get a little bit of an extra bonus, but it's not going to do a whole lot otherwise. The other thing too, I'll say after playing with the Tectonic Giant a little bit, is really think about how much that 3 damage means to closing the game. I've had several situations where you get kind of at a coin flip situation. You have to understand, like, how badly do I need the option of another card? How badly do I need the 3 damage? One thing I would say if you're considering on taking the card is a card in your hand more important to you after the board is back at parity or your opponent like sweeps the board? If so, then I would take the chance on getting something off the top of the deck if you think it's going to go for a couple more turns, and get the option of playing the free card so you still have access to more cards after the board is swept. Now, if I think I can kill them in the next turn potentially, then yeah, let's go ahead and hit them for 3 damage and hope for the best, because sometimes you got to gamble when you're playing an aggro deck. But overall, I think this deck's really, really fun. It's super fast. It's doing a whole lot with very little, which I enjoy. And it's going to surprise your opponents. You have a lot of 3 and 4 power creatures that are going to really wreak havoc for them. But yeah, if you like this type of video, hit the like button. And as usual, subscribe to the channel so you get updates on other Ikoria decks as we're putting stuff out. And that's going to do it for now, I would say. Otherwise, follow me over on Twitch, again, for the Streamer Early Access event. I also stream on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 p.m. to midnight Pacific time if you just want to catch me there. And that's it. We'll see you next time.